So the next design pattern we'll be looking at is pagination. These are also things that we'll be familiar with if we are used to working on the internet and visiting some website, and even owning a computer, going through some documents, visiting some site, we must have come across pagination. So even though you haven't come across pagination, so paginations are, you see the area I marked with my marker, my green marker below. You see it helps you to manage long content list, just like the mockup I display. Most times these are areas where you see paginations, even though you could use paginations for other cases, but paginations are frequently or mostly used in cases or in areas where there are a lot of content that are being displayed and you need to manage them. So imagine you have a table that has 1,500 data. You can't display all of those data in the first screen for users or visitors. So you use pagination to manage this navigation. So those 1,500 data can be split into several pages. So the first, maybe you have like 50 data displayed in the first page. Users can see it first page. And then if they want to see other data, they click page 2. So it's just like you have a book and you have content written in the first page. You have content written in the second page. I guess that's why they use the term pagination. You understand? So if you have been in school, you write your project, you give your page number. So those page number in this term is called pagination. It helps you manage a long content list. And these are what you of course need to be familiar with as a product designer, because imagine you are not familiar with pagination and then you are designing an interface like this. You are designing an admin platform to manage user data from a mobile app. So you are designing an admin platform for a mobile app, right? So, and that you have like 1,500 users, like I mentioned earlier. How do the admins see all of the users? You can't display 1,500 users on the first page. It means you are giving the admin a lot of work to be scrolling down. No, you group them together and then you put them in separate pages. So it will be very easy for an admin to just click on the first page, see the users here, click on the second page and see the users there. It helps for easy navigation and content management. So let's proceed. So we're done with common web UI patterns. They are not all, but we just saw common. We saw the most ones that you are likely to encounter. Let's see some of the common mobile UI patterns that you are likely to encounter also. So the first is bottom navigation. Just as web platforms have their own navigation, mobile applications and platforms also have their own navigation. So one of it is bottom navigation. The area that I marked with my green marker there, those are called bottom navigation. And the use case is easy access to call action. So if you would examine this platform I'm trying to display in this mockup, you see that we have 4 bottom navigations below. We have the home, we have the wallet section, we have the history, and we have profile. This is telling you in a sense that you have all of these sections in this application. There's a section for the home. And if users click that home, it will display the content that is in the home section. And then we have another section called wallet. Now, if you want to navigate to that wallet, just click on that button. That's navigation below the wallet navigation, and to take you to the wallet section, and then you see the data there. Now, if you want to check history on this application also, we have a section for it. And then so you click the history and then it will take you to the history section of this application. Now, if you want to check your profile, all in the same application, you click on the profile just like the mockup is displaying. Then you get to see your content, your profile content. Like the mockup, it displays the profile picture, which is not showing right now. But then you now see the username, you see maybe user ID there, and then you see my account, you see account upgrade, you see add bank account, referral settings, and so many other things that you can do under the profile section. Now, just like we explained earlier, that navigation helps you to group items into sections. You understand? So imagine this application has only one section, which is the profile. It means on the profile, you get to see your history, you see your wallet, you see the content that's supposed to be in the home. All of this content and this element will be bridging together, and it will cause chaos. So you get to see this mostly. Of course, we are conversant with navigations below, but we are just enlightening ourselves professionally now as a product designer. Some people might look at it and they might not really know what it is and why it is like that. But I guess even some laymen understand these things. So, but we need to know better as professionals now and as product designers that these are bottom navigations and we understand the use case. So after this lesson too, I bet us that when we interface with applications that we are used to, when you log into your Instagram account, you would see navigations and then you see buttons. So as you are using them, you are understanding why or what we are even explaining here now. You are understanding why these sections or this particular data are grouped together under profile. You understand why they are grouped together under home or feed. As you navigate through your Facebook, you navigate through your Instagram, Twitter, or whatever the case may be. So this is one. You see this in most applications. Go to your Facebook now, you see your navigation there. Go to Instagram, you see navigation. Go to TikTok, you see navigation, and so on and so forth. The second design pattern for mobile apps that we'll get to see is what we call drawer menu. Drawer menu is also called hamburger. What are the use case? These are secondary or overflow menu. You know, the mobile mockup or the mobile screen is not as large as the web. So if you're designing a web application, you have enough space to put lot of data. You have bigger screen size that could accommodate a lot of things. But then the case is different for the mobile because if you are designing on a mobile platform, you have limitation to space, you have limitation to screen. Now, let's say on this profile, there are a lot of things that I want this user to have access to, or a lot of features that I want these users to do on this profile. And then these features comes like menu. Let's say I want the user to change from light mode to dark mode. I want this user to be able to request something or do a lot of actions on his profile. Now, if to reduce adding some of this data below where we have our referrals and setting, to reduce a long list of functionality, we have what we call a drawer menu or a hamburger, just like I marked with my green marker up there. Now, if users will click that hamburger, it will bring down a drop down of other options. So hamburgers are used to minimize other navigations or overflowing menus. Hamburgers are used to minimize overflowing menus, just like I explained. This might not necessarily be all the menus I want users to have on their profile. I really want them to have more features. The application has a lot of features. Now, I can't just write all of this because if you notice this design, we've almost used all of the space. The only space we have here now is to just go below. I imagine a user scrolling down. It will be exhausting and it will be chaos. It will be a disaster. So one way to hide those overflowing menus is to use a hamburger menu. We must have come across this in our applications. And while we use our applications, like I said earlier, let's observe these things that we use. Let's observe these hamburger menus in some of these platforms that we use. So the next is modals and bottom sheets. Modals and bottom sheets. These are also elements that are used to display temporary informations or actions. Now, I think we have this or probably almost all of the applications, social applications that we use. For us to have like a practical example of this, if you go to your Instagram, you go to your Instagram and then you're scrolling on the feeds, your Instagram feeds. I want you to click on the message icon. Let's say you see someone you're following posted a content or a picture or whatever, you see the number of likes, you see the love icon there to identify likes, and then you see the message icon there to identify number of messages if there is any. Now, I want you to click the message icon and observe what happened. Like, carefully observe. Click the message icon and observe what happened. You would notice, it depends on the design of the application, but I want you to use Instagram because I've done the experiment on Instagram. Go on Instagram, scroll your feed, check a post, and click the message icon under that post. You would see the way this modal will come up from bottom. It will swipe from the bottom up. It will just pop up from the bottom. Now, these are modals, but Instagram use this to contain their messages. Yeah. Instagram use this to house their messages. It will come up halfway. Then you could write a message or comment on or react to other messages. But if you want to see all of the messages in full, as the modal comes up halfway, you can push it up to expand the modal. That's just the interactive behavior of Instagram. Now, that's like one use case that Instagram did with this modal. But other use case, just like we mentioned, that they are used for temporary info. Instagram did not use this. Yeah, it's actually a temporary info because you're just trying to comment on a message and move on. It's not that you just want to click on the message and then the modal comes up and stay there permanently. No, it will stay there for as long as you need this to stay there. But when you are done, you bring it down. So it is temporary. It's not permanent. But then other use case for some applications, it could come like a form of notifications, but then a notification that requires actions. You see, that's why we put the use case is temporary info/actions. Most notification design that product designers use are just a pop-up, a just short message that would come for like 2 seconds and then would disappear. But then if you see designers use a modal to display information, it usually comes with an action. Now let's use this mock-up we have before us as a case study. Now, this screen is showing add bank account. So for users to add their bank account to this platform. Now notice probably the user inputs select their bank, input their account number, the account name would appear, and then probably the user clicks add bank account. Now this modal comes up to say what? Details mismatch. Yeah, it comes up with an information. So let's read. It says, the account details provided does not match your BVN. Please use an account linked to your BVN and try again. What this modal is saying is that this user is trying to add a bank account that does not match with the BVN. So probably this user has maybe in their KYC profile, this user has provided a BVN. Now, this bank account the user is trying to add to this platform does not have a link. It's not sharing the same BVN with the initial BVN the user provided. So this modal, the designer is trying to guide the users that there's a detailed mismatch. The bank account you are supplying for us to add to this application does not have the same BVN with the previous BVN you provided. Now, what is the action? The designer is trying to guide the user that try again. So probably maybe it's a mistake, you try again, or you have another different account the user wants to use, so you try again. Or if you are sure that they match, the problem or the issue is not from you, then there's a button to contact support and then you lay your complaint. So we see how these modals are being used. I've explained the use case that Instagram did with their messaging, and then the use case of displaying temporary information /action. So modals are very, very, very useful. Very, very, very useful if you know how to use them properly well, and which I'm hoping we would know how to use perfectly as product designers. Modals are beautiful. They help you communicate. Modals are one thing that helps a product user experience seamless and easy. Imagine the user is trying to add this bank account and then there's nobody communicating to the user what the problem is. But this design approach just saves the users the frustration of, I'm not getting any feedback. What exactly is the problem? I'm sure of this, my BVN or my account number. But then this designer helps to just communicate to the user that see exactly what the problem might be. But if the problem still persists, please contact us and then probably you get to speak to an admin and then you will get assistance. So this is a design pattern, modals, and bottom sheet.